Good morning, Rabbi Sai. So we had a tremendous chiddush from Rav Anan, and today we're going to knock it out. We're not going to go with it. But Rav Anan says that somebody that worships Avodah Zarah, he's a good shaychet. You could still eat from a shechita. And the Gemara says, where do we know this from? We know from the story of Yoshafat and Achav. Achav made a bunch of steaks and he made a tremendous barbecue for Achav and his men. And Achav ate from it. Yoshafat ate from Achav. And Yoshafat was a tzaddik. He did not do Avodah Zarah. So you see that you're allowed to eat from somebody that's over Avodah Zarah. So the Gemara goes through a few questions. How do you know it? We're holding like 14 lines from the bottom of Daladam in the base. V'dilma oivadio zavach. Who told you that Achav, the Rasha, he was the sheikh? Maybe Oivadia. Oivadia was one of Achav's men, but he was a 1 minute. He was a tzaddik. He hid 100. He was not a navi. He hid 100. Well, you ask him. There's a sefer called Oivadia. He hid 100 neviim in 2 caves, and he saved them. He saved 100. He worked hard. He risked his life. Like think about the Shoah. Goyim risking their lives saving Jews. He risked his life to save 100 Nevi'im. And in that schos, he got Nevuah. He was a special person. So maybe Oivadia was the one who's the Shaykhet. And for that, you're certainly allowed to eat Oivadia Shechita. Then Oivadia Zavach. Says Gemara, no, it's impossible for a human being to shech that much. If you remember the video from yesterday, there's a lot of food on the table. L'roiv Ksiv, Oivadia have a suffix. It was impossible for him to shech everything. With the 7,000 Yidden that did not worship Avodah Zarah, that was basically all of society came from that 7,000. Everybody else was wiped out, I believe. The Chsev, V'sharti b'Yisrael, here it's a pasuk. V'sharti b'Yisrael shivas halafim. I only left over 7,000. All those knees that didn't bow to the Avodah Zarah. Says the Gemara, yeah, but they weren't around to shecht. Tamuri Habim Mitamri Mizevel, they were all hiding from Mizevel, the Russia, who killed all the Gdolei Adar, who killed everybody. Vidilma Garid Achov Havamalu. Maybe Achov was a bad guy, but maybe his people were all good. Lo Yisokadaitov. That's not how it works. If you have a bad leader, all the people are going to be bad. They follow him. So maybe Yeshavat's people are also no good. And they're the ones who ate the bad meat. Whatever the bad guys shechted, the people from Achav, so the people from Yeshavat ate, because they're also bad. We already established that there was at least one good shaychet, but he couldn't shecht enough. Okay, so he shechted for the good people. But Oivadia was around, and he shechted, whatever he shechted, Yeshavat ate. And the thousands of people that came with the Yeshavat, they all ate the treif meat from the treif guys. It's the same svar that we said a second ago. When the leader is a Rasha, all his people are Rishayim. It goes by the leader. Follow the leader. L'chayra, if Yeshavat was a good person, so all his people were good, and therefore they wouldn't eat from that hechsher. And from the fact that they all ate that meat, you see that you're allowed to eat meat from somebody who's a mumur to Avodah Zarah. They weren't that bad. Maybe they weren't Mechal Shabbos. They kept the Torah. Just had a little Yetzirah for Avodah Zarah. And that's okay according to Ravana. Maybe whatever Achav's people shechted, his own people ate. And Yeshavat's people also shechted. Maybe they came with their own shechtim. Says the Gemara, you see that Yeshavat and Achav were very friendly. They did everything together. They were best of friends. Oh, this is what the Gemara says. Best friends. Chutanim. And then they went to war together. Minalan. Says the Gemara, how do we know that they accepted all the bad stuff and the good from Achav. We're the same. I'm like you, you're like me. So I accept upon myself all the Isser and Heter that you do. So when it says right there in that same pasuk, the 2 words later, it says Kisusai Kisusecha. My horse is like your horses. It also means an Isser and Heter. My horses and your horses, we all accept. They accept all the Isser and Heter of yours. So what's Pshat Kisusai Kisusecha? Your horses are like my horses. The Pshat is they're like tanks. Horses is a tank in those days. Whatever happens to your tanks, it's going to happen to my tanks. We're going to war. Whatever happens to your horses, is going to happen to my horses. We're in this together. So, Kamani Kamoich is not referring to Isser v'Heter. It's referring to our bodies, our physical being. We're going into war. Whatever happens to you, however many people are not going to make it, they're not going to make it from my side either. Elo Mahacha. So how do you know that he took upon himself all the Isser v'Heter of Achav? That Yeshafat was masking to everything that happened over there in Hechsher wise. Melech Yisrael v'Yeshafat Melech Yehuda Yoshim Ishal Kisoi. They're sitting each one on their own chair. Melubashim begadim. They're wearing the clothes of a king. Begoyer Pesach Shar Shoimroin in the gates of Shoimroin. My Goyer Ilay Megoyer Mamish Alter Shar Shoimroin Goyer Nava. It can't be physically a threshing floor. Well, you think there's a threshing floor as you walk into the Shoimroin by the gate over there? Elo Ki Goyer. What do we sometimes refer to as the threshing floor? That's the Sanhedrin. This nan Sanhedrin is like a Chatzi Goyer Nagula, something like this. They would sit. The 71 would sit in a half a circle. Why? Kadesh, you roin says so they could all see each other, and you don't do it in a complete circle because then you lock everybody out. It'll be impossible to come in. Let's say you want to stand in front of the Sanhedrin. How are you going to get in? It's very so you have a half a circle and like this. So that's what it means. That they were. It's referring to the Sanhedrin, not to literally the threshing floor. Memela, they accepted their halachas. Says the Gemara Levim Se'ele. Maybe I have proof to Ravanon, which, like I mentioned before, it's not going to last. But we have proof that what? That somebody who's an Ovid of a Dizara, it's a tremendous chiddush. If you thought about it before we started the sugya, you have to say to yourself, the guy is Ovid of a Dizara. He doesn't believe in the Rebbeinu Shalom. He's worshiping someone else. So you're going to trust him for a hechsher? Ravanon says, yeah. So the Gemara goes into the beautiful story. Agadata. Eliyahu Novi, he decreed that there should be famine, for 3-year famine. So Achav was upset at him. What, you're putting an embargo. So he's going to go kill him. So he had to run away from him. So how did he live? He ran away into a cave. The ravens, they bring him every single day lechem ubasar, geshmak, a meal of bread and meat, ba'boiker, velechem ubasar ba'erev, and also in the evening, the morning and the evening. Oh, what's the raya? V'amar Rav Yudam Rav, says Rav, mibeit ha'bochid ha'achav. Where did this meat come from? It came directly from the kitchens of Achav. Says the Kliyakar, why from Achav? Should be from Yeshafat, maybe. Some people actually learn from Yeshafat, but it doesn't fit into this Gemara. He says that's what the Rebbeinu Shalom does. He shows you who's in charge. The person that's trying to kill you is the person that's going to feed you. I'm going to make it like that. He's feeding you every day. Basar v'yayin. So the Gemara says like this: Al pi hadibur shani. You can't bring any rye from there. This is ravens from HaKadosh Baruch Hu, and Eliyahu Navi was soymech on whatever HaKadosh Baruch Hu. If HaKadosh Baruch Hu is sending him b'neis meat, I can eat it. It's from the Rebbeinu Shalom. You don't bring a raya. Oh, where did it come from? From Achav, so maybe you could eat it. So says Taisves, ask Taisves. We do all Taisvesim, especially when they're. Obviously, you have to come on to the Rebbeinu Shalom gave it. You have to come on to that answer. Says the Gemara. What's the answer? No, but obviously, if you don't say from HaKadosh Baruch Hu, you have a different problem. So you have to say, automatically you have to say it came from HaKadosh Baruch Hu. So he says no. Obviously, if he got the meat from The raven, obviously, what's the problem with the Bashar and Salman? Is it from a Jew or is it from a guy? So obviously it came from a Jew. But obviously it doesn't come to be matir a shchita of a ovid kechavim. My arvim. So we're learning arvim means a raven. Omar Avin arvim mamish, literally a raven. But how do you know? Omar Leir of Adabar min Yomi. If I want to break it down, maybe their names were arvim. Because we've seen the pasuk, Irvin, two Irvins. Miloik Siv, Yahargu is Oirev, Bitsur Oirev, Vezaev. It says there was a guy, his name was Oirev. Come on, two people with the same funny name, two Irvins? Nah. You're right. The two people punkt have that same funny name. That they're named after a bird, not some a bird, a raven. But maybe there was a place called Oirev, and they came from there, so that makes more sense. Two people from Oirev. Milik Siv. Irvine, Givaldik. They came from Irvine. V'dilma Hashem b'koyman. Milik Siv. V'aram yotzu g'dudim v'yishbu me'eretz Yisrael naraktana. Says they came and they captured a naraktana. Now anybody that learned Kiddushin with us or throughout Shas, what's a ktana? Up until the age? 12. What's the Nara? From 12 to 12 and a half. The Olam's holding. Here, how do we know? Here we go. Ktana, boom. From 0 to 12. A Naira is from 12 to 12 and a half, provided she has Simonim. A Begaris is from 12 and a half till 120. So how could you put those two words together? Nara, Ktana. She's 12 and a half, she's 12, and she's also below 12. How does it go? So Memela, Vakashli Kroy. V'kashila and Karila Nara. You're calling her a Nara. V'karila Ktana. How can you call her the same thing? They're opposites. They're contradictory. The pshat is that she's actually a Ktana, but she happens to be from. Says the Gemara. If that's the case, if they in fact came from, if there were two people that came from a place called Oirev, Imkain Oirvim Mebayile, it should have been called New Yorkers. You don't call it New York. If two people come from New York, they're called New Yorkers. Two people come from Oirev, they're called Orviyim. Let me say LA. I have another raya, and this is a freebie Rabbi Sai. We learned this sugya yesterday. I have a raya to Ravanon that is somebody that shechs, and he's a big Ovid of Avodah. He has a shtickle of Avodah going on in his house. He has a nice getchka. Soymach on a shchita, says Ravanon. It says, everybody's permitted to shech, vafilu kusi, even a kusi, vafilu oral, even somebody without a bris milah, vafilu Yisrael mumar, and even somebody that doesn't believe, hayar alechidami. Who are we referring to over here? If his brothers, they died after the bris milah, so they pass and he cannot have one. Hayisrael malio, he's a perfect Jew, and of course he can be a shoichet. Elab shita mumar la'arelos. He's a guy that's mizalzel in the bris milah. He's mevai, it says Rashi, he kicks it, he looks down at bris. It says that if somebody that doesn't believe in something, you're not allowed to eat a shechsher. If over here dover echad means everything besides things that have to do with nevela and eating. Sorry, he could do shchita. I said not. He could do shchita. Then what? Somebody that doesn't believe in something in the Torah, one of the mitzvahs in the Torah, he doesn't believe in lulav and esrig. So that's like somebody that doesn't believe in bris milah. What's the difference? It's the same thing. So why are you repeating the same case? It can't be that you're repeating the same case. Elolav, mumalav edizar. Let's go with the Ravana. It's a right to Ravana. Know what? Somebody that does a little avedizar, shtikol baltaiva for avedizar, he's allowed to shecht. With the Ravana, that's mutter. Loy, leimaim loch, mumalav edizar, loy. I'll say no, absolutely not. Some of this avedizar, that's too much. Why? If you deny Avodah Zarah, it's like you admit to the whole Torah. And if you do Avodah Zarah, it's as if you deny the whole Torah. So you deny the whole Torah, that's it. You can't check. Ella mumar lo yiseh davar. He's a mumar to nevelos, and that's the big chiddush that even though he's a mumar to nevela, he He doesn't believe in Nevela, but we could trust him in Shechita, which is in the same category. It's food. And like Rava says that a mumar to Nevela, a guy that eats cheeseburgers, we could trust him as a shochet. Meisvei, mikem, v'lei kulchem. So it says in the pasuk, Odom ki yakiv mikem korban Hashem. So it's not everybody. Mikem, which is talking about an oila, an adava. Mikem v'lei kulchem. Not everybody can bring. Lahoitzis hamumar. A mumar cannot bring a korban. Here. Let's see. Here. Oh, wow. It went in order. That was my mistake. Let's see. I did this literally at 7:05, 5 minutes before share, but it happened by itself. Baruch Hashem. Maybe somebody did it for me. No, I copied from another place, so it could be. Let's see if it goes in. Oh, gevaldik mamish. Chesed Hashem. Maybe Yoshi got up and he did it for me. Mumar, no, because then the lamed wouldn't be touching the tuf over there. A mumar cannot bring a korban. Mikem, only in Klal Yisrael a mumar can't bring a korban, but in the nations, if you have a guy who's a shtickle mumar, he could bring a korban. Min ha-behema, lahavi b'nei adam shedoim lebehema. The Gemara is going to talk about this on Amud Beis. There are human beings that act like animals. They're not mentioned. What does that mean? They don't keep the Torah. They don't keep mitzvahs. So they're animals. Mikan amru, mikablin karbanos mepoishi Yisrael kadesh yachzrim v'tshuva. You hear this? It's mardik. Why do we accept a korban from a guy that does averis deliberately? Poishi Yisrael. He does it deliberately. Kadesh yachzrim v'tshuva. You have to give them a chance to come back with tshuva, and if you push them away, you say, no, I don't accept your korban, then they're pushed away forever. It's much like all the psychologists today say, you have to show them a lot of love, never push them away, give them the chance to come back. Chutz min ha-mumar, there are two who we don't accept korbanos from. Chutz min ha-mumar, so we have to understand what this mumar is. Chutz min ha-mumar, that's one thing. U'min nasach hayayin, that's number two. Somebody who does avodah zarah with wine. Umechalel shabbos b'farhesia. He does chil Shabbos b'farhesia. There was a thing I didn't show yesterday. Haguf agacha. Amris mikem v'loy kulchem lo yitzis hamumar. So you have a shtickle problem. Here we go. In the ratio, we had mikem. Just remember the word mikem v'loy kulchem lo yitzis hamumar. So he said mumar can't bring a korban. Then it says you could. That's not a big kasha. Reisha mumar l'kol ha'torah kula. As you see over here, I wrote mumar l'torah, the whole Torah. So no, he can't bring. Mitziyasa mumar l'davar echad. But the middle part is if he doesn't believe in one thing, he doesn't believe in lulav, bris milah, he could bring a korban. Hey Maseifa, we have a problem. We just read chutz min ha-mumar menasach hayayin. Besides somebody who's a mumar and somebody who does avodah zarah with wine, umechal Shabbos v'farhesia. Hi mumar echidami. So let's do the seifa. It says mumar no. What does it mean? Which one is it? The purple. What's the purple? Mumar not. That's exactly what we said in the red. The red says mumar l'kol ha'torah no. So you're not going to repeat yourself. And if he's only mumar for one thing, not for the whole Torah, kashim tziyasa. It says mefurish that you could. It's green. If you're mumar l'dover echad, it's okay. Mumar and nisach yayin is one thing. It's not two separate things. It's not a mumar plus somebody doesn't. He's a mumar for avodah zarah. Ulechal Shabbos is b'farhesia. Somebody's b'chal Shabbos b'farhesia. So Rashi says over here, it's a beautiful Rashi. He says, and we do all Rashis. These are very severe. Okay. He says that Shabbos is like doing avodah zarah. Why? Somebody that does avodah zarah says he believes in another entity. Somebody's machal Shabbos, says Rashi. This man Dama holds. You don't believe in the Rebbeinu. Why? Who made chekish shavas HaKadosh Baruch Hu b'ma'aser bereishis. You're saying that HaKadosh Baruch Hu didn't rest, and that's why I'm not resting. I don't believe in that whole thing. So it's very severe. Alma, What do you see from here? We just said that the word mummer over here, mummer, the purple we have to write over here. I didn't have time. Mummer la'avodah zara. That's what it should say. And what? And he cannot bring a carbon. So you see, not like a Ravana. You see, somebody that does avodah zara can't even bring a carbon. Hold on, let's go back. But to Yufta the Ravana, so the Gemara goes away from Ravana. Somebody who does avodah zara cannot be a good shoichet to Yufta. Says Gemara, you bring me a whole pasuk mikem that you could bring a carbon, you can't bring a carbon. We learn from another pasuk. Dafayim Beis. From the pasuk, a different pasuk, Ma'amaretz, Pradle Mumar, Reb Shimon, Yosi, I remember Shum Reb Shimon. Oh! Reshum Reb Shimon, in the name of Reshum Bayichoy. Asher Loiso Sena Bishgog of Hashem. That what? Only Hashav me the Yasai. If somebody is willing. If somebody, you tell him, what are you doing? You're eating chaylev. He goes, oy vey, are you serious? That's a guy that can bring a carbon. Not a mummer, a guy that says, I know that it's aser, but I don't care. A guy that says, I know it's aser and I don't care, tomorrow he can't bring a carbon. Hashav the Yasai, maybe carbon, I'll show you Yasai. If he would known, he would have taken it back. That's the person who would bring a carbon. And he showed me the Yasai. But if he doesn't take it back, any maybe carbon, I'll show you Yasai. But according to everybody, according to both of them, a mummer cannot bring a carbon. Let's finish this and then I'll do the sponsor. It says in the pasuk, look at this. In the same word after word. Same line. So it's almost the same miser. Person who doesn't care about chaylev always eats chaylev. But blood he doesn't drink. And he drank blood by mistake. That's the nafkemina. If you hold that had he known, like Reb Shimon, had he known, he wouldn't have done it. So over here also, had he known his blood, he wouldn't have done it. So Rabbi said, this is a classic Gemara. So we just said, and what just happened? We're in a kasha, in a teretz. What are we doing over here? It's a kasha. We're in the middle of a kasha. Why does the Gemara say before that we learn mum or not from the word mikem? We have another pasuk. We have another source. Ma'amar is the first two words on the Samad. Gives us another source. So what's going on? We have two sources that say the same thing. Says Gemara, no. One source is tell us that he can't bring a chatas, and the other one he can't bring a oila. Utzrichi, and I need both of them. This guy is not he's not roy for kapara. He's a bad guy. He shouldn't be able to bring a kapara. But I would have a havamina. The doyer who it's a gift to Hashem. We should accept it. Why be mean to him? You don't have to zevach Hashem te'eva, so you don't have to bring it. Don't bring it. I don't want your zevach. You're a Russia. It's a te'eva. It's a abomination. But a chat is a chiyuv. Emel kabel minei. Why should I have a meaning? You should take it because Mendy always says. What does he say, Mendy? What does Mendy say? Let's hear from you. Shlei choyte niskar. Because the guy did an event. You say, you know what? You don't have to pay $500. You're such a bad guy. Even $500 you don't have to pay. That's not right. If I care, you should pay $1,000. Now you shouldn't get out of it. The Kalmini, Tzricha. Rabbi said we're doing Angata. What every time that a person acts like a behema, the Gemara says you're like a behema, a person like a behema. So the word behema refers to the derogatory thing about ksiv. Adam ubehema t'shi Hashem, referring about Adam Rishon. Adam ubehema t'shi Hashem. V'amar Rav Yehuda Marav, elu b'nei Adam shemarumim b'das. It's referring to great people that are very, very clever, they're very smart, they have tremendous kishrin. U'mesimin atzmon kebehema. Nevertheless, they have a tremendous anava. Hasim ksiv, says Gemara, okay, over there, ksiv Adam ubehema. It says Adam next to behema, so it's referring to a great person. When it says the animal by itself, it's referring to a person that acts like an animal. It says Gemara, you see what every time they say together, it's a good thing. V'zerati is basically Yisrael, zera adam, v'zera behema. So Rashi over here explains. These are bad. These are people not that very good. Amaratzim, never learned, never read. They don't learn Chumash, they don't learn Mishnayis, he didn't even, okay, so you don't want to, so at least be a macher, go with Talmid Chachamim. No, all of us are Zerati is based Israel, Zera Adam, Zera Behemo, Kulei Chacham, Aburim, Kulim Israel, Lefroisim, it's a bracha, Rabbi Say, for all the people that don't have children. So Gemara says over there, so it's a bad thing. Hasam hachalki kra, but it doesn't say Adam ubehema together. There's a word in between. It says v'zera behema. Zera Adam l'chud, v'zera behema l'chud. What do? We stop over here. Okay. Rabbi Sai, have a wonderful day and a gewaltige Lag BaOmer. Thank you for coming. Yeshar Koyach.
Merit the schus of spreading Torah throughout the world. Sponsor a shir today. MDYsponsor.com or sponsor at MDY.com.